Snipers are a high-risk, high-reward option. A good sniper can easily turn the tide of a round, even without getting a kill. You could change a whole enemy team's strategy and punish players who aren't careful. I'm going to go over how to use both the scout and the op and go over the sniper role overall. I won't be going over the auto snipers because those are the easiest weapons to use in the game and I hate them. Let's go over the scout first. The SSG-08 or the scout sniper is a very difficult sniper to use, but once you understand how to use it, it can be a great option for countering ops, stopping rushes, and being an overall threat at any choke point. The scout has a high movement speed, and it also doesn't lose that movement speed when you're scoped in. This makes up for the low damage the scout has compared to the op. On screen are the damage stats, and as you can see, the damage isn't low. It's only since we're using a bolt action, and we want to kill the enemy in one shot as often as possible. If you notice, the scout can one-shot an enemy in the stomach without Kevlar, so if you know the enemy can't afford armor, you can go for the stomach since it's much easier to hit. This works the opposite way too. If you think the enemy is going to keep their scout and you have to save, you can buy just Kevlar so that he has to headshot you. If you're in a gunfight with your team and someone calls out that they tagged an enemy, you should make note of that since the scout does 66 damage minimum, meaning that if you can get a shot off on a weak enemy, you're most likely going to get the kill. That goes the opposite way as well, this time for your teammates. If you tag someone with the scout, you've done, at minimum, 66 damage. So that enemy is likely one shot, if not two. Take advantage of the scout's movement speed since the scope speed is the same as the run speed. You can peek angles with it and have the benefits of a scope. To peek the angle, you should first be unscoped to have a wider FOV. Start to peek, and right before you expose yourself completely, aim in and counter strafe. This is technically harder to do than peeking while aimed in, but it's much more safe. No matter what though, you should always be using the movement speed to your advantage. Take a shot and strafe your ass out. The op is more like your traditional sniper rifle, and is the option you should always go for when playing a sniper role and you have the money. The op is a one-shot kill at any range unless you hit someone in the legs. You should almost always aim for the chest since it's the largest part of the hitbox and you're gonna one-shot them anyways. The op can also penetrate through more walls than any other rifle. It'll lose damage and most likely result in tagging the enemy, but 60 damage is 60 damage. If you happen to get a headshot through a wall, then they're for sure dead because the op has a 4 times multiplier for headshots. The worst things about the op are the price and the movement speed. The op costs $4,750. That's more than it costs a full buy on CT side with an M4. So when the enemy team finds out that you have an op, they're going to keep track of you so that they can take it for themselves. If they pick it up, it puts your team at a massive disadvantage. So you want to play with this in mind. Watch angles for your teammates and don't get singled out. If you happen to die, call out where your op is so your teammates can pick it up, and if you're being chased and you know you can't kill everyone, you could toss the op out of the map so that the enemies can't pick it up. The movement speed when you aim in is reduced by half, so don't aim and peek corners up close too often, as it gives the enemy way too much time to react before you can see them. When you buy a sniper, you're committing yourself to the sniper role. The team sniper is the guy who puts the most pressure on any point, since it's really hard to counter a sniper without utility. For example, when you have a sniper in window, players are careful to go middle, since there isn't a lot you can do without utility. If the enemies go A, and you have a sniper somewhere A, they have to play extra cautious to push in, because if they lose a player, that makes their push more difficult. Both snipers require well-placed shots in order to stay effective. If you miss your first shot, the control you have over middle or A goes away instantly, and enemies can push you easier. Here's an easier way to hit your shots. You could strafe and use your wrist to make micro adjustments, and use your arm for wider movements and flick shots. You could download this workshop map in the description, or find your own map to practice flick shots, or even regular shots, but practicing a deathmatch works as well. Let the enemy walk into your crosshair if you can, to reduce the amount of aiming you have to do. To do so, keep your sniper crosshair slightly off the edge. This is also helpful when holding narrow angles, like mid on Inferno, since your brain takes time to react. If you have your crosshair here, you'll react to the enemy that's there, but you'll have to adjust slightly to hit them since they move. If your crosshair was here instead, you can look here, react, and already have your crosshair placed where they're going to be. Lastly, let's talk about countering a sniper. When a sniper knows what they're doing, they could be the most dangerous player in the round. Use utility to cut off long lines of sight commonly used by a sniper when going into a site, and single out the sniper up close, preferably with a teammate. Remember, when a sniper misses their shot, they're vulnerable for quite a bit. Rushing them while they're down or with a pistol can be effective. You can also do a shoulder peek to bait an enemy sniper into missing. To shoulder peek, try to expose your player's shoulder with a counter strafe. This is a hard shot to hit if you can't react fast enough, but if you do it too much and in a rhythm, the enemy will quickly adjust and kill you. Bait their shot, then get into a better position to handle it. The realest way to counter a sniper though is with another sniper. If you know an enemy has an op and they like to hold a few common spots, then a good scout can bait the shot, then punish the enemy. Even if you don't like snipers, it's good to learn how they work and how to use them decently. Practice when you can and don't whiff. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe. Thank you and goodbye.